So this tool is pretty much what wet dreams are made of. Yeah, not even apologizing. Dun, dun. All right, Makita's 36 volt dual bevel compound miter saw. X2. Makita needs to do better job at naming their tools, but this is an amazing tool. In my opinion, best 12-inch compound miter saw on the market, cordless or corded. I'll go into the reasons why I think so. Not only because I own this tool and I have a biased opinion, but also I did my research before buying this tool. And yeah, it's pretty much exactly what I wanted in a tool. One main gripe, or two, and we'll get into that. But let's go over the overview real quick. There's no belts, it's direct drive. Obviously, electronic, brushless motor, 36 volt, it runs on two. Let's get over here. Two 5 amp hour Makita batteries. So what you're hearing is Makita's AWS right there. There's a little chip. Focus. There we go. And I have the Makita 36 volt vacuum underneath. Just a quick right there. And basically Bluetooth. And every time I want to chop anything, you get vacuum, suction. Stays on for a couple seconds afterwards. It works fantastic. You will have to resync it if you have to swap out batteries. You will have to resync it. It is very simple to resync, but it again is Makita's. This is it's a no-brainer. Now the tool does not come with it. Comes with the actuals. There's a little chip in here. It does not come with that, which is great on Makita's part, because if you're not going to use it for that reason, you shouldn't have to pay for it, because the chips I believe are like 60 or 70 bucks a piece. At the time of this video, I'll link this in the description. If you want to purchase this, affiliate link in the description. If it at the time of this video, there's not going to be one, but there will be. This is my forever saw. I do have the 10-inch version of this, which is my it's what I built my business on, really. And when they came out with this 12-inch version, a couple of years ago, and now it's a no-brainer. I already had the battery system, but I also wanted the best tool. I also have every other battery system, as some of you may know, and I wanted the best saw, and I did my research. I tested Milwaukee's, I tested DeWalt's 12-inch. I think Bosch has one too. I didn't really look at them too much because I don't have their battery line, and it was corded. It had to be. I run cordless tools. There's no reason for me to have a corded miter saw because I'm always running this. You can see I have it in the Polk total station. And it basically, I need cordless because I don't like cords on my job sites. And I ran some tests. The ball bearing slides. You got your tool, the twin rods right here. And their ball bearing, the sliding is so smooth compared to DeWalt and Milwaukee's. And that was one big reason why I chose this one over it. Another thing is the small footprint. You can't tell really, but it's a big saw. It is absolutely huge, but it also has a small footprint because you don't have the back end, all the railings in the forward part. So let's just go quick over here. You can see the railings in the back. So even though the saw sits up here, you still have to have this space in the back to actually, for the railing system. This one's all in the front. All your controls are in the front. Your bevel controls, your miter controls right here. Everything. You got your basic, your plates, 0, 15, 22 and a half, 30, 31 and 0.6, 45, 60. It miters to 60. It bevels to 45 both ways. There's not much. The fence is fantastic. It's a 12-inch saw, so you're going to get 6 1/4 inch vertical cut capacity. You're going to get your 8-inch crown molding nested against the fence. You can cut that as well. 15-degree board at 90 degrees is cutting. 10.5 inch board at 45 degrees is what you can cut with this. So obviously a 15-inch board you're gonna be just fine with that. So, 6 1/4 and 3/4 inch vertical cut, so you can cut 6x material. Absolutely what I used it for on the deck that we were finishing up right now. It was a no-brainer. I can't complain. Nothing's a hard stop for me on this saw. Like, there's a couple of small things that I wish you wouldn't actually have to deal with. Like, you have to take off the fence if you want to do bevel cuts. You got to take off the fence, because beveling it, you can see you're not going to be able to bevel at all with this. So you got to take out the fence for the bevel cuts. And also, it has a laser. Let's see if I can turn it on. It does have right here is your laser. So let's see if you can see it right there. So you can adjust it to the blade left or blade right, but it's laser. And everybody knows, any professional pretty much likes shadow line. That's what everybody, well, that's what Milwaukee, my little 7 1/4 inch here, has shadow line. So I'll give me a second here. I will get this up so you can actually see what I'm talking about. If you're not familiar with shadow line, you don't have to adjust shadow line. It's just there. It's cast a shade on the blade, and you know exactly where the blade's going. So again, that's just something, that's my little pet peeve. This tool itself, it is heavy, but it's also a pretty large 12-inch dual bevel compound miter saw. So I can't fault them for that, because I couldn't engineer anything close to this anyway. So it is what it is. A couple things on the tool itself. Like, again, I said, all your controls are up front right here on the side. You got your beveling, your mitering, everything's down here. You can see you got your batteries right here. Now, you do have on the Makita batteries, you do have their battery gauges here, but this tool actually has one right up front. You can see right here, and you can see exactly what we have. So obviously my battery number 2 is actually running low, but if you wanted to test that, you can. You have your safety up here, and then you pull your trigger. There you go. That's what gave it a second. You got your stops right on the front here. You also have an onboard tool storage, which definitely took me a minute to find. It's right here, changing out blades. It took me a minute to find it on my 10-inch version, but this one I knew exactly where it was, because these saws are pretty much identical as far as the tech and mechanisms and stuff that go on. This is just a bigger tool. Let's see. On the side, you got your stops, so you can go like that. So now it'll lock it in place. You have a little bit of slop there, but it's not that bad at all. That way you can just make your chops, and you don't need to worry about anything on that part. And you can also do it for storage. I can't do it with my one hand here, but you go like that, and then it'll slide in. It locks it up top if you want to, or you can just lock it once you actually bring the blade all the way down. You can lock it in place as well. Very nice. Has about 170-ish cuts on 2x12 material per battery charge. There's a 5 amp hour batteries, so at 36 volts you're going to get 5 amp hours. Two 18-volt batteries. I would say that is. It depends on the wood. I've gotten more cuts than that, and I've gotten less. So keep that in mind. If you're cutting 2x12s all day long, you can get almost a whole day's work out of this on one battery charge. And these batteries charge really quick. Makita invented the brushless electric motor, so they know what they're doing as far as the battery tech. I wish they had higher amp hour batteries, but I think they're coming to market. And I mean, it's fantastic. Now, dust collection's not great. I would say good. Now, most of this dust you see here is from my employee, not actually, once the vacuum runs out of battery, he decided just to keep sawing and not actually change the battery. So I haven't cleaned it up since then. But the dust extraction is pretty good for this. It definitely helps for sure. And I can't fault him for it as well. You can see. So you got the suction behind the blade, and you got the suction underneath the blade as well. The vacuum, you can see back here, you got your little mounts, and then this one suction, it sucks everything out as well. So that was a mouthful, but that's basically the gist of the tool itself. We can talk about it a little more. If you're interested in a professional grade tool that's going to last you a very long time, I've had to buy parts for my 10-inch 36 volt tool from Makita. Shipping's like 2 days out. because I dropped, I think it rolled down. I was carrying it up an embankment and it slipped and I let it go and it, tumbled down the the small hill, and it, I snapped a couple things. One thing was up here, the handle, and the stop itself too. So Makita's very good about getting your tool. It's very cheap. It wasn't very expensive to actually buy it, but it also saved me from taking it in and waiting months and months for somebody else to actually repair it. Now I know Festool has their, I don't think they have a 12-inch version, but their Capex, they have a different handle. I thoroughly enjoy the side handle, just like it is right here. You hold it down and you just basically push it down with your arm, as opposed to grabbing it and pushing it down. I think this feels more natural. That's a personal preference. That's not a dig on Capex. It's not, or Festool, and that's not a plus for Makita unless you actually like using it like that. So let's get into the nitty-gritty, my additional thoughts on this, and what else we can talk about this tool. All right, so let's talk about the Makita saw. I gave you the overview. 4,400 RPMs. 5 amp hours at 36 volts because of dual battery. This saw is pretty much everything I wanted it to be, and for any specialty or any kind of serious contractor, it's going to be an awesome tool for you. Will the DeWalt 12-inch flexible miter saw work for you? Absolutely. There's a couple. I've seen those. They work great. I wanted something that's a smaller footprint, and basically it's just smoother. It runs smoother. I just feel like Makita made a better product. Now, I have not owned that DeWalt FlexVolt. I have owned the Milwaukee 10-inch dual bevel. I've not owned their 12-inch, but I did try it, test it out a couple times at a demo days and locally to me as well. And it wasn't, it doesn't look like it has a deflection as the 10-inch Milwaukee did, but it's not nearly as nice. You can see it's going to take up a higher footprint because of the railing system. That's basically, I have a lot of batteries from Milwaukee, so that wasn't a factor. The Makita is just a more refined. I feel it's more accurate. Even right out of the box, I had to do very, very small adjustments to the base coming right out of the box, and it's very accurate tool right out of the box. It's great tool. You're not getting, now price wise at the taping of this in 2020, I think bare tool I believe was around $800, and you're gonna get the kit with 2 batteries and a dual charger for less than $1,000. So if you get something cheaper than that, it's gonna be a no-brainer, absolutely no-brainer. But that's what you're pricing. These are not. This is an investment. This saw has already paid for itself multiple times, but it's an investment. I have 3 miter saws. I have the 7¼ inch Milwaukee, and once I actually upload that review, link in the description. I may put a card up here, and I'll put a card up here as well for the Makita 12-inch dual bevel 36 volt. That tool is fantastic, and I'll never get. Matter of fact, if it ever dies and they don't make it anymore, I'm just gonna mount it on my wall just because it's absolute that valuable to me. I have so much sentimental value with that tool. It does get used and abused, and it is it just keeps on ticking, and it's still dead nuts accurate. Really, it is. So, I already went over pretty much everything as far as that you're going to need to know. There's a bunch of small. I refer you to Makita's website for if you want to know everything down to the gram, how much it weighs. It is. I think it's like 60. Let me look at my notes here. 69 pounds. Yeah, 69 pounds. For that tool, and it is not light. You see it stays on my Polk station. It stays in my trailer. I have to haul it to where I need to, but it stays there. If I'm on a job, it only gets used when I'm on a job site for a week or so on end. I don't move it every day. It's a heavy tool. The AWS is fantastic with this tool. It's also what sets it apart from DeWalt and Milwaukee as well. You can, if you have their vacuums, it just runs right automatically. It's absolutely an awesome thing to have if you want to invest in it. It is more expensive to buy the chip, and obviously you got to buy a vacuum. I think they start at like $550, $600 for Makita's 30, their AWS HEPA vacs as well. So the laser, just going over the things I don't like about the tool. The laser should be a shadow line, and the fence. I wish they would engineered a way for the fence to stay on, and you can bevel it. So obviously, I like the fence. I can take it. It's not that hard to take them off. I think the butterfly screws in the back, and they just pop right off. So that's basically all I have for you guys for this tool. It's fantastic. If you're in the market for it, definitely consider it. Go look at everything. But if you don't have any batteries, but you have DeWalt batteries, get the DeWalt. The cost to buy into a completely new battery line, unless you're going to do like the whole AWS with the vacuum, you can buy these tools when you can get them on sale and you get extra batteries for free, but it might not be worth it to you if you're already in the Milwaukee or the DeWalt line to go to this tool. For me, I have thousands of dollars in Makita. I have their battery line, so it was a no-brainer for me. Plus, obviously, I had their 10-inch dual bevel, 36 volt, and it's been invaluable to me. So like and subscribe, you guys. We'll see you in the next video. I appreciate it.